Hello. So I want to talk today about comparing adjectives. That can be confusing, so I'm going to break it down a little bit in case you need that help. So first I want to show you, and I'm on page 178 in your book if you want to follow along. You have to pay attention to how the word is spelled, and then you have to pay attention to how many things are being compared. So if you're comparing just two things, then you're going to add an ER ending. If you are comparing more than two, three or more, then you're going to add the EST ending. So first let's look at the way words are spelled. Tiny. If I want to say my slice of pizza is tinier than your slice of pizza, I'm comparing our two slices of pizza. So to spell that, I would have to drop the Y, change it to an I, and add ER. Okay? If I say, I gave my little brother the tiniest piece of all, then again, I'm changing the Y to an I and adding EST. So when your word ends in a Y and a consonant comes before it, then that's what you'll do. Okay. Kind. My sister is kinder than my brother. Okay. I will just add the ER ending. Okay. If I said the fourth graders are the kindest students in the school, we can assume there are more than two students in the whole school, right? So we want to add the EST ending. Okay. Kindest. Okay. Mad. What can I say? My father was madder than my mother. Okay. Notice that it's a one syllable word and it ends in a consonant. So I have to double that consonant. Okay. Matter. If I don't double the consonant, then I've created a whole different word. Okay. So you do have to pay attention to that. Okay. His football coach was the maddest coach in the tournament. If it's a tournament, we can assume there are more than one coach, more than two coaches there. So again, we're going to double that consonant and add the ending. Okay. So let's look at some examples. I'm going to switch sides. Well, I'll just do it this way. Okay. Of the twins, James is faster or James is fastest? Well, it depends on how many things we're comparing. How many are twins? Twins are just two, right? So if it's just two, then James is faster. Okay. Do you know which boy is the taller or the tallest in the class? We can probably assume there are more than two boys in the whole class. Okay. So in that instance, we're comparing more than two. So tallest is our choice. Okay. Between Fluffy and Sugar, which puppy is cuter or which puppy is cutest? Well, how many dogs am I comparing? Fluffy and Sugar. So we have two. So if it's just two, then which is cuter? Okay, does that make sense? So that's what it matters, how many things you're comparing. So when you're looking at your comparisons, you may be comparing the weather today than usual. So that's just 2 times. Or if you're comparing, some of your examples have been sometimes it numbers the things that you're comparing, so you should be able to tell. Sometimes you're not making a comparison at all. You're just making a statement. She is nice. I'm not comparing her to anybody. I'm just saying she is nice. In that case, there's no need to add an ending. He is smart. I'm not comparing him to anyone. I'm just saying he is smart. So there's no need to add an ending. Only time you add one of your ER or EST endings is when you're comparing. So be sure you pay attention to that. Okay. The next thing that I want to do with you is when you have to label your sentences for parts of speech. Now we have done nouns, we have done verbs, we have done pronouns, and we have done adjectives. Okay, those are all the parts of speech that we've done. And so I'm going to put some sentences on the board like the ones that you'll have to do, and I'll show you how to label those. You can use the abbreviations, that's fine. Subject is not a part of speech. So even if something is the subject of your sentence, that's not a part of speech. So it's either a noun or it's a pronoun, okay? So let's see. She has eaten that chocolate cake. Okay, so let's see. So our choices are, let me turn to our page. Noun, verb, pronoun, or adjective. Those are the only things that we've done. Okay, so I'm going to pick out my verb first. That's what I always tell you to find first, and this is no different. So has eaten is our verb, okay? Even though one is a helping verb, that's okay. They're still both verbs. So I'm going to put a V over that, okay? She. Yes, she is the subject of our sentence, but subject is not a part of speech. So it's either a noun or a pronoun. She is on the pronoun list that you guys had to memorize, so that's a pronoun. Okay. Any other nouns in the sentence? Cake is a noun. Okay. I'm going to put noun over that. Is there anything describing that cake? Anything telling us which cake or what kind of cake? It's a chocolate cake, so that's an adjective. I'm going to put the abbreviation. And then we have one word left, that. That is also modifying cake. Which cake? That cake. So again, that is another adjective. Okay, so you're going to have to go word by word, but that's what you're doing in that section. Okay, I'll do another one. Let's see. My brother fed his dog. Okay, so again, find your verb. Fed, so that's a verb. Okay. Brother is the one who fed, and that's the subject, but again, subject's not a part of speech. So is brother on the pronoun list that you memorized, or is it a noun? It's a noun. Okay. Put a noun on there. Okay, is there anything telling us which brother, whose brother, or anything like that? My. My is a pronoun, but in this sentence, it's acting like an adjective because it's answering that whose question, okay? So I'm going to label it as an adjective. Okay, look for any other nouns that you might see. Dog. So I'm going to put noun there. And then we have one word left, his. So it's just like my, it is a possessive pronoun, but because it comes in front of a noun, it's acting like an adjective. It answers that whose question. Whose dog? His dog. So I'm going to label it as an adjective. Okay, that is what you're doing in that section that you'll have for this week. So look at your examples. Go back and look at your blue boxes if necessary. Okay. The next thing I want to do with you is one of the sections, and we've had to do this before, but when you have to draw arrows. It sounds picky, but it's important that your arrows go the right way because that's how I know that you know the difference. Okay. So I'm going to do a sentence like you'll see in your book. The big storm caused major damage. Okay. So the activity in the book asks you to underline all of your adjectives. So if it helps you, go through your sentence first, and if you need to pick out your verb and get those words out of the way, and then label all of your nouns, that might make it easier for you, and seeing all the words may not be so overwhelming. So I'm going to find all of my nouns, okay? The big storm caused major damage. So the nouns in my sentence are storm, and I'm just going to write an N over it, and damage. Okay, caused is my verb here, so I only have 3 words left. Okay, is there anything that tells me which storm or what kind of storm? Big tells us what kind of storm. Okay, so my arrow is going to go from big to storm, and if you notice, the arrow is pointing to what is being modified. Okay, that's the important part. It says don't leave out your articles. Remember, your articles are a, an, and the. They always point to a noun and tell you that one is coming. So the is going to point to storm. And I'm going to draw an arrow. Okay, make sure that I can tell what it's pointing to. Okay, we have 1 word left, major. Does it tell what kind of damage? How much, maybe, how much damage? So I'm going to draw an arrow from our adjective to our noun. Again, if it helps you to label your parts, you certainly can do that. Then maybe it won't be so overwhelming to you. Okay? I'll do one more. And Easter blessing was given to the students. I hope that you have had a good Easter. Okay. An Easter blessing was given to the students. Okay. Again, I'm going to go through and find my nouns and pick out my verb, and then I'll see what I have left. Okay. So in this, blessing is a noun. Sometimes it's a verb, but not in this sentence. Was given is my verb. What was given? A blessing. So that's how I know it's a noun. Okay. Students is also a noun. Okay, let's see what words I have left. Okay, an, remember, is an article. So it's always an adjective. That's its only job. So it is going to point to blessing. So I'm going to draw my arrow. Okay. What kind of blessing was it? It was an Easter blessing. Okay, so I'll draw my arrow to blessing. Make sure those arrows are pointing the right way. Okay. Now I have to the students. Those are the words I have left. Students I've decided is a noun. They're people. Okay. And the is an article. So I'm going to draw an arrow, and it's kind of a funky arrow, but that's okay. From the to students, because the is an article pointing out that students is a noun. Okay. The only word I have left is to. Maybe I don't know if it's an adjective or not. So does it answer a question? Does it tell which students? What kind of students? Whose students? How many or how much? No, it doesn't answer any of my adjective questions. So it's not an adjective, okay? It's not a pronoun. It's not on the list that I memorized. It's not a person, a place, or a thing. And it's not a verb. So I'm not going to label it because it is not one of the parts of speech that we've learned, okay? And the last thing I want to show you is you have an activity on page 181 where you're going to have a word in bold and you have to tell what part of speech it is. So I'm going to do one like the very first one you're given. Red is my favorite color. And I'm going to underline it because I can't make things bold. Okay, red. I need to know what part of speech that is. Is it a noun, an adjective, a pronoun, or a verb? Red a lot of times is an adjective, but look, it comes right in front of a verb. So in this case, it's not an adjective. In this case, it's a noun. So I'm going to label it that way. But if I said, my red bicycle was stolen, red, I'm going to underline that. Red comes in front of a noun. So in this case, it is an adjective. It's telling what kind of bicycle or which bicycle, okay? So in this case, it's an adjective. Okay, so pay attention to what it's coming in front of if you're not sure. If you think it's an adjective, but it comes right in front of a verb, it's probably not, okay? So that's what you'll do for that section, okay? I hope that is helpful. If you have any questions, you text me or call me, okay?